Welcome to R Lab 3.3. We're talking about manipulating and analyzing and exporting data with tidyverse in R. We're using this data analysis and visualization for R ecologist exercise. So we're on the fifth tab over, and we're about a quarter of the way down here where it starts with the heading mutate. So frequently we want to create new variables, new columns that is, in our data frames, and we want to create those based on existing columns in the data frame. For instance, we have our weight in grams right now, maybe we want it in kilograms or pounds. We've seen how to do this previously using the base R package. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to learn another way to do it that's a little bit simpler and something that we can embed with dplyr using those pipes operators, the and then do operator. So the way we've done this previously is we've created a new column within our existing data frame by calling up the data frame surveys and then adding this $sign and then picking a new name. So maybe we want to call it weight in kgs, kilograms. And then we use our assignment operator. We call up surveys and the existing weight variable that we have, which is in grams. And then we multiply, this is basically that column in the data that is the weights, right? So we simply divide that by 1,000. And so our grams divided by 1,000 will tell us what our kilograms are, right? So over here, we've got 13 variables. When we run this, we have a 14th variable. And when we open up our data frame, it shows up in the last category, weight in kilograms. And we can check it by just scrolling down, and we can see that the weight in kilograms, 0.008 kilograms, does in fact equal 8 grams over here in the weight category, right? So let's look at how to do this. I'm just going to clear out my environment. I'm going to reload the data. You remember how to do that. Basically, we don't need to run the library or the working directory. We just need to run this read CSV function. And it's always good to keep a clean set of your data so that you can reload it. Sometimes you'll perform a couple operations and it starts to get messy, and you always want to be able to start from scratch. So you always keep that raw data file clean and uncorrupted. So I've reloaded my surveys data, and now I'm just going to go back down to where I left off in my code. So I used the old method. Now let's look at how mutate can be used to do this. So we can use the mutate function by simply calling up surveys and then adding a pipe. And then we're going to do this mutate function. So the first argument in mutate is going to be what is the name of the new variable I want to create. So in this case, it's going to be weight in kilograms. Then I'm going to say that's equal to some existing variable, in this case, weight, which is our original column, but we're going to divide that by 1,000. Okay, so I'm just going to call up surveys. I'm going to mutate this existing variable, this column. I'm going to divide it by 1,000 and create this new column variable at the end of the data frame. So here I run it and it comes out in my output. Now I didn't get a new object and I didn't alter the existing object, right? But here I can see in the console, there's my new weight in kilograms down here. And that the top row, they're all NAs, and we'll look at a way to get rid of those here in a minute. Now the slick thing about mutate is, well, maybe we want to create the weight in pounds as well, right? So we can do this a couple different ways. We could do another pipe. And then simply run mutate again, but instead change this to pounds, LB, and the conversion from grams to pounds, well, I think it's actually kilograms that we want to convert to pounds by multiplying 2.2 would be the conversion. So if I run it this way, now I'll get uh, a second variable. So I got a second variable, but actually I screwed that up. So I created weight in pounds, but here I can see definitely like 0.2 kilograms does not equal 479 pounds, right? So it's always good to like look at your data and see, did I really do what I thought? No, what I wanted to do was I wanted to feed it weight in kilograms. So for this first line is creating weight in kilograms as a new column. The second line is creating weight in pounds based on weight in kilograms, which was created in the first step. And I can do those back to back because I've got this pipe operator. So if I run that, oh, it doesn't like that because I'm overwriting some stuff. Oh man, so why isn't this working again? It's because again, R is so touchy, right? I misspelled weight up here. So this weight, if I want to call it up, when I highlight it, I can double check because it shows this blue box. It's going to show all the other places that are an exact match when I highlight something. So I can go either way. If I highlight this, it's going to circle that. So that's a double check. So now when I run it, then in fact, it's going to create that new variable weight in pounds. And when I look at those two weights, kilograms, 2.218 kilograms should be about 0.47 pounds. Okay, so that's one way. Another thing is we can just run these back to back. So you can run mutate and then just have the first argument be the first new column and the second argument be the second new column. And I could add in a third column and a fourth column. So there's a couple different ways you can use that. I like using the pipes, and if I hit Control Z a couple times, it'll go back to how I had that. I like doing it this way because it shows me when I read my code, it's very clear what I'm doing with each of these steps. And yeah. Okay, so now let's use mutate. So we just created two new variables. I'm going to put that under here for my annotations. What we're going to do now is use head and tail to view the output of this. Now, one thing that I noticed when I was scrolling down here, I've got all these NAs. And I end up at the bottom of this big long row. So I can actually pipe in the head or tail command pretty simply just by putting in head. And I don't even have to put anything in there. It's just saying after you do all these things, just send me the head. And so when I do that, bam, let's run that again. When I've got my wide screen, now I can just see the head, which again is the first 6 rows. And you can see weight and kilograms are both NAs for those first 6 rows. So let's try the same thing, but we'll do it with tail. If I run tail, then I can, in fact, compare just a few of those things. So head and tail, again, are a nice feature because you can only see those first 6 rows. You don't end up having to scroll back through your console to see the top of your data. Okay, now I do have all these NAs, and maybe I want to remove them. So let's do that next. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to add on a filter. So I've got surveys, and I'm going to use my little operator, my pipe operator, and then I'm going to start by filtering the data. Filtering again means removing the rows that don't meet a certain criteria. So filter, and in this case, I want to filter weight. Um, uh, and that's going to be the weight in grams. Um, and so in this case, I just want weights that are not NAs. And so I do need to do some nesting here. So the isNA function, is.NA, is basically a function that says, send me everything inside some vector that doesn't equal NA, or that does equal NA. If I put a exclamation point in front of it, and this is throughout R, whenever you put an exclamation point in front of something, it says, give me the opposite of. So what I want is to give me all the things that are not NAs in the vector weight, right? In the column weight from this surveys data set. So now if I do this, I'm going to get 32,207 rows plus 76, right? So I get a whole bunch of output down here that is just the observations, the rows where weight is not NA. So now I can just grab those variables that I wanted, mutate the new variables. So basically, I want to subset the data surveys. I only want those observations where weight was collected. I want to convert those weights to pounds and kilograms. And now maybe I want to create a new object with this. So I might just say surveys weights. And then I'm going to give it that assignment operator, right? So once I run that, it's going to create this new object. It's only got rows where weight was collected or weight is not NA, right? So as I scroll down, and then when I go over to the side here, I've got those new variables, the kilograms and grams variables. So that's it. Once you have watched this video, I want you to go ahead and try the challenge, which is challenging in this case. So you're gonna, what they want you to do is create a new data frame from the surveys data. That's easy enough, right? Surveys pipe something. So it needs to contain only species ID, and it needs to have a new column called hindfoot in centimeters. And then hindfoot length, we want there to be no NAs in that column for hindfoot length. So you need to think about the order in which these operations need to happen. So they've kind of got it written backwards. This is a spoiler alert. But basically, you want to remove those NAs first. You want to filter and use the isNA function, right, to remove the NAs from the hindfoot length column. Then you want to convert or mutate to create a new column variable called hindfoot length in centimeters. And then you're going to select only the species ID column. So go ahead and do that, and then you should be ready. You should be able to work all the way through question 6 in the Canvas assignment if you want to work simultaneously on the assignment. Come back in a minute and we'll talk about, or once you finish those things, we'll talk about split, apply, and combine, and the summarize function. This is where things are going to get really cool.